This is a story of divine intervention that weaves its way across continents, races, genders, beliefs, and languages.
Yo he sido huérfano de los 8 años, de los 7 años.
When I was 7 years old, my father died. At 8 years old, my mother died.
To survive, Wilbur Quespe Huaman, as explained through interpreter Sister Agatha Grossman, ended up providing slave labor for a family in the jungles near his home.
They didn't treat him very well. The wife began to hit him and beat him with a broom. And she grabbed me and beat me all sides. She hit me on the nose. Nose was bleeding.
He literally ended up living in a tree.
Most difficult time was when I was sleeping in the tree. Didn't have any place to sleep. That was the most difficult. Didn't have food, I didn't have clothes, no place to sleep. I felt like a dog without an owner. Yeah, I wanted to die. He said that's the way I felt.
Wilbur eventually made his way to a nearby town where a kindly woman introduced him to a brother he did not know.
And the lady said, well, why don't you two talk to each other? And they asked, well, why? And so the lady told us we were brothers. So he told me he was working in Santa Ana in tapestry. I mean, he took me where he was working. And that's how I learned how to do tapestry.
Wilbur's personal trials were playing out while the entire region was being pulled apart by terrorists. With many of the men in his village murdered, Wilbur, like many other indigenous weavers, made his way to the shanty towns outside of Lima. There he met his wife, started a family, and continued weaving his way out of poverty. A continent away, passionately committed to saving a dying art form, was Minnesotan Melanie Eberts.
I was traveling around Peru since the mid-'80s and trying to start a weaving business. I was drawn to craft. I wanted to learn how to weave. I was an explorer, and I was very drawn to indigenous culture, and indigenous people weave in Peru. So I quickly became enamored and really in awe of this craft, and also realized that it was very hard to find the weavers themselves because they were dispersed in these shanty towns outside of Lima.
Was it divine intervention that drew the two together?